What happens if the head of the world's most famous martial arts temple, the top Shaolin monk in the world, is stealing money, committing fraud, and even having secret children? And what does that mean for us, students, instructors, and everyday martial artists? Let's get into it. The Shaolin Temple recently made a shocking announcement that Shi Yongxin, the abbot, the top Shaolin monk, the big cheese himself, is being investigated by multiple agencies for embezzlement, improper relationships with multiple women, and fathering illegitimate children. If these allegations turn out to be true, it's a huge blow for the world of Kung Fu and martial arts in general. But who is this guy anyway? Shi Yongxin joined the Shaolin Temple in the early 1980s and became abbot in 1999. But he wasn't just a spiritual leader. He was a modernizer with a business degree and a clear strategy. He wanted to turn Shaolin into a global brand, and he did just that. Under his leadership, the Shaolin name exploded internationally. There were overseas martial arts academies, live Kung Fu stage performances, movies, merch, hotels, and even Shaolin-branded tourism projects. He's often called the CEO monk, and for good reason. He brought in millions, made Shaolin a household name, and built relationships with international businesses and governments. Now, some say that's a good thing. After all, Shaolin Kung Fu became known around the world, gave people access to the training, the culture, and the values. But others argue that in the process something important was lost, that Shaolin was sold out, its image commercialized, its traditions packaged like a product, and instead of preserving ancient values, it became about power, prestige, and profit. And now, with this latest scandal, those criticisms are louder than ever. So what's happening now? In July 2025, it was officially announced that Shi Yongxin is now under official investigation by multiple Chinese government bodies. The accusations are serious. He's suspected of embezzling temple funds, misusing project money, and of breaking Buddhist precepts, like celibacy and detachment from material things. He's also accused of maintaining long-term improper relationships with several women, despite being a monk, and reportedly fathered at least one child. As a result, the Buddhist Association of China revoked his ordination certificate, and in simple terms, they've stripped him of his monkhood. He's officially no longer recognized as a Buddhist monk, which is a major development. And this isn't the first time something like this came up. Back in 2015, there were similar allegations, but those were dismissed after an internal investigation. Is this a case of we investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing? Who knows? Now, a decade later, it looks like the truth may be finally catching up. This isn't just gossip or personal scandal, this is a massive blow to the reputation of one of the most iconic institutions of martial arts in the world. So why is this so serious? Well, when a monk, especially one this powerful, is accused of breaking the very principles they're supposed to represent, it damages more than just their own image. It shakes people's faith in the temple, in the tradition, in martial arts, and in that concept as a whole. If the people at the top can't be trusted, it makes you wonder how many others are just putting on a performance, saying the right things on the outside while chasing wealth, status, or control behind the scenes. These aren't just bad decisions, they're betrayals of the values that martial arts and Buddhism are supposed to stand for. Is profit before principle a growing trend? And to be honest, this isn't just about one man. This is part of a bigger trend we've seen for years. Martial arts is becoming more and more commercialized, especially when it comes to large organizations. Flashy grading systems, overpriced merchandise, instructors selling black belt packages, federations focus more on branding and franchising than on real training. We've all seen it. In China, this has been happening on a national scale. Martial arts has become part of a soft power campaign, a way to promote Chinese culture, tourism, and political influence overseas. Shaolin, being the most recognizable martial arts symbol, has been used heavily in this campaign. But when you start turning a spiritual tradition into a brand, there's a real risk of losing its soul. What started as a path to self-discipline, compassion, and service gets twisted into something more about image and income. I have strong feelings about all of this because I actually spent time training and traveling in China. And I want to be clear, I've got real respect for the culture, the people, and the history, especially around Kung Fu. Some of the teachers and students I met were genuinely dedicated, hardworking, humble, and serious about their practice. But I also saw the other side. Temples packed with tourists, students lined up like a conveyor belt, and a focus on appearance over understanding. There was a clear push to maximize revenue, and every class, every tour, every piece of clothing seemed tied to a price tag. It's not unique to China, of course, but it was especially obvious there. The deeper ideals of martial arts, community, humility, discipline, felt like they were being pushed aside in favor of whatever sold best. But what does this mean for us as martial artists? So what can we take away from all this? Well, as a martial artist, there are a few things we can take from all this. First, don't idolize people just because they wear a robe or hold a high rank. Respect should be earned through actions, not just titles. Secondly, accountability really matters. If we expect students to live with integrity, we have to hold our leaders to the same standard, and there should be no excuses and no blind loyalty. Third, respect flows both ways. Martial arts isn't about submission to authority, it's about mutual growth. As instructors, as students, as people. That means calling out hypocrisy when we see it and choosing to support the schools and teachers who still live the values they teach. Because ultimately, martial arts isn't just about punching, kicking, or belts. It's about character, and that matters now more than ever. The fall of Shi Yongxin might feel distant. It's happening thousands of miles away from most of us, in a tradition many of us will never have direct connection to. But it's a reminder that no system, no school, and no leader is immune to corruption when money and power become the goal. So let's stay mindful, let's train with honesty, and let's protect the spirit of martial arts by living it every day in and out of training. So what do you think about this investigation? Should we be concerned about the impact on martial arts, or is it an isolated incident? Let me know in the comments below. I'll try and read every single one. Okay, thanks for watching today, and as always, consider liking and subscribing if you want to see more content like this. And remember also to check out the links below for my books on Amazon and my website. Until next time, train hard and stay sharp.